Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's weekly bump. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you had an amazing weekend. So we have 4 piles, piles 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go ahead, take a moment, pause the camera if you have to, or the video if you have to, and allow yourself to be drawn or pulled toward one pile or the other. Some people are pulled toward multiple. That's perfectly fine. You guys know that I do believe there is a little bit of an element of destiny with this. So even if you have no clue which pile to choose, just randomly pick one and there might be something relevant for you. Additionally, I will have the monthly readings out probably by this weekend, and I will also have private readings going again, so stay tuned for that. All right? See you guys in just a second. Timestamps will be down below in the description box as well as the comment thread. Thanks so much. Take care. Okay, pile number 1, you guys selected the orange aura quartz. Let's go ahead and dive right into these cards. Okay, so we have Strength, Knight of Coins, Judgment reversed, 5 of Coins reversed, 5 of Wands reversed, and the Knight of Wands reversed. Wow, okay. So to me, I look at these 3 cards at the very last part of this here, and what I see is a group of people who's just totally over stuff. Not wanting to deal in any drama whatsoever, tired of certain situations, tired of certain circumstances, and definitely tired of probably certain people, especially if you have any kind of flaky people coming in and out of your life, whether it's lovers or friends or people who only come in when they really need something, or people who are looking for validation boosts. And I think that you are really craving and wanting something a lot more steady, a lot more predictable even, maybe that's even a welcome energy, something that you can really grab onto. The way I'm seeing kind of this woman, this higher self, this divine feminine here, really grabbing onto the lion, something that you really can grab onto. I think you're doing your best to stay out of things. I'm kind of seeing this Knight of Coins as being an observer on things. And I also look at this Judgment card and I acknowledge that you acknowledge you're not seeing the whole thing right now. You're not seeing the whole picture. You're not seeing the whole reason for things. You're not seeing the full landscape. It's kind of like a Monet, right? Like when you're really, really close to it, I'm kind of even looking at the blizzard, kind of the snowflake aspect here coming through. I'm kind of like, there's a Monet aspect. When you get really close, it's kind of like a big old mess. But when you step away from it, that's when the picture really comes to life. And perhaps you're realizing that maybe you're just a little too close to the picture, just a little too close to the artwork. And a little too involved or a little too invested. And that's why you're kind of stepping out of things right now, because you're not seeing the whole thing. See, it's the awareness, right? That's why strength is so important in this reading, because it's the awareness. It's that connection with that divinity, with that infinity symbol above her head, where she says, you're connected, you're plugged in. So follow your gut, follow your instinct. We're making our way into Leo season right now. We got a new moon tonight. We've got, Mars going into shadow phase. So your instinct is really the best place to rely, the best intelligence center to rely upon right now. Our minds are somewhat unreliable during Leo season, right? Because it's really our solar plexus. It's our, right? We got that Leo card. It's our solar plexus. It's our 3rd chakra that's really being illumined right now. So just knowing that you don't know, knowing that you can't see, knowing that you can't control, especially if it's another person, Knight of Wands reversed. This is definitely someone you should just let them walk out the door, because it's not worth the energy to try to get them to see it, to understand it. The Knight of Wands reversed can be really tricky because they can be very closed-minded. And stubborn, also very stubborn and really set on their own ways. which is unfortunate because you know that when a Knight of Wands is upright, it's like the most open-minded person ever, right? You know that it's willing to learn and willing to listen, but reversed, that energy is stuck, it's stagnant, it's unavailable. So maybe that's a temporary thing. And if it's temporary, fine, you just got to wait it out with the patience. Definitely a lot of patience coming through with these first two cards. But boom, all that yellow, look at that. That third chakra is just on fire. Plus we got this orange aura quartz, which is deeply connected with the second chakra. So there's something with the base, that base knowing. This is not high elevated, third eye, crown, heart. That's not operating in that spectrum. It's operating from the lower chakras. And to me, this is a little bit more of this animal instinct coming in, like your little spidey senses are kicking in. The hairs, on the back of your neck sticking up, getting goosebumps, that kind of knot that you get in your stomach. Those kinds of feelings of nerves or anxiousness that kind of creep in when something approaches. That is your main intelligence system right now. And it's going to do you a lot of favors, especially when you're looking at stuff, financially, socially, bureaucratically, if you're dealing with like office politics kind of nonsense type stuff, is absolutely not worth getting involved. Okay, let's see what else comes out. Okay, we have manifest, beautiful, flow, even more beautiful. And we have reach out. Sorry, I'm going to line them up as much as I can. So with these three cards, I love the flow because this is the same as this Knight of Coins. It's just not wanting or even being close to trying to control anything. And understanding that there are a lot of things out of your control and therefore just let them be out of your control. I think the people that are really going to struggle this week are the people that are trying to get things to fit in boxes. Whether it's through a definition, whether it's through a label, whether it's through trying to modify someone else's behavior, those are the kinds of things that are really, really going to kick your butt. But see, there's magic going on right now, deep levels of magic. And I always say, we don't want to black magic ourselves, right? We don't want to be practicing negative manifestations. When we're really fueling a desire for someone else to behave in a certain way, that can be black magicking ourselves, right? Or black magicking our own lives. What we need to be doing, and I'm looking at this reach out card, and I'm feeling like you actually don't want to reach out. I'm feeling a reserve in that. I'm feeling like you'd rather be on your own. You'd rather be doing it yourself. You'd rather just close the door to your office and just do the project yourself. Because maybe that's you, trying to control it. I would highly recommend you fight that urge to try to keep everything within your control. And if someone steps in or if someone can help, I would absolutely invite them into the process because the outcome will likely be a lot better. Because what you're ultimately trying to manifest or to create, is something that will work, something that will be beneficial, that will bring in money, that will bring happiness, that will bring fulfillment and joy for all parties involved, with or without a specific Knight of Wands, or with or without a specific team of people, or with or without specific family members, right? So I always say manifest the feelings, not the circumstances, and definitely not the people. And that's when you can really get into your flow, because the universe will provide people in your path, the right people, the way it always does. So this is a good week to practice purposeful attunement to the frequency that you wish to be attuned to. Purposefully. And it is going to test your patience, because this kind of stuff can be, tough to look at, tough to deal with, tough to have around you. Even if you're not involved, it can be tough to even listen to other people talking about it. And the tendency to lock yourself in your office, to lock yourself in your home, and to just close your ears or plug your ears and close your eyes, it's going to be really strong. While I commend you for staying out of it, I also, don't want you to completely close yourself off to people and opportunities. Okay. Now we have, beautiful, Neptune and the moon from an astrological perspective. These are deep psychic, spiritual, otherworldly kinds of planets. Now the moon is interesting because the moon, I always say, is the keeper of all the secrets. It's really the keeper of the Akashic records, and it's something accessible for us at any minute in time. We just have to simply send a request and consciously await a response. The moon is the container of our memory from all of our past lives, from whence we came, the keeper of all the information of the universe, essentially. And if you can tune into that, because I know you can't see things, right? You're aware that you can't see the whole picture. You can't see the bigger landscape. So if you can send a request, that is your manifestation in and of itself. The thing is I don't think that you're really trying to seek answers right now. And I think that's great. That's what this flow and Neptune is really all about. It's not about trying to find answers. It's about really living in the questions and allowing the questions to just percolate and allowing the questions to just always be open-ended. Because at a certain point, then you stop seeking for answers altogether. When you stop asking questions and you stop seeking answers, you're allowed to live true and pure and authentically in the moment, every moment, without always worrying. I think questions really stem from a worry of not knowing. Especially when it comes to what someone else is thinking. Intuitively, like I say, you already know what that other person is already thinking. Last month in the monthly readings, it was a very prominent message of just admit it, right? Just admit that you know, admit that you feel a certain way, admit that something has happened, just admit that what is true without trying to change it, without trying to get it to conform. Neptune and the moon do not conform. They're not conformity driven in any way. That's like Saturn type stuff. Even the sun kind of does that sometimes too, right? But not Neptune, definitely not the moon. Neptune and the moon are pure, authentic, soul level. They supersede all human expectation. And that's the place that I think you're really getting yourself to by not trying to control or fix this situation, by not getting involved, by not trying to get anyone to do anything. And this is how you find your power, truly. And this is when actually life can evolve very quickly because it's not confined, it's boundaryless, and you're in the flow state. And when you're in a flow state, that's exactly what happens. You just flow. Oh, surrender. Well, there you go, right? Surrender. Okay, resistance versus resistance. All right, well, these are two totally opposite cards. Surrender versus resistance. And that's probably the battle within yourself. I think you're a little overweighted here in the flow, surrender, Neptune state, though. There's a little too much heaviness here, which means you might as well just try to take your hand off the wheel. You might as well. For some reason, you may feel like you're kind of going into an abyss by doing that. An abyss of the unknown, because the outcome is so completely unpredictable. And what I was saying in the beginning was that you're kind of hoping or trying to, get yourself to that more predictable place with that Knight of Coins. So it will feel uncomfortable. It will feel strange. But that will normalize. The strangeness will normalize. This is the best place to be really operating from. I look at really successful business people, right? People like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, there's a lot of these types of people, right? Who go in and they completely disrupt an industry and they blow up and they make billions of dollars and whatever. And I look at those kinds of people and I feel that those are people who are constantly in the state of flow all the time. Right? Because they're constantly receiving and they're constantly creating. It's this constant in and out kind of divine masculine, divine feminine energy going on within them. And without them even knowing, they are perfectly balanced in that regard. Not saying they're perfect people, but they're perfectly balanced in that creation system. And they don't fight anything. They don't fight the discomfort. They don't fight the ideas. They don't fight culture or expectation. They just let it be and they operate within that. And they challenge it and they push because their flow state is so strong. It's an inevitability for them. And then we have come to life. And that's exactly what's happening. You are coming to life. And I love that with the manifestor, the magician in the center middle there. You are coming to life. She's like painting herself. She's creating color in her life. See, these are kind of maybe deadening experiences. They're kind of numbing, if you will, sensory numbing. Maybe it's even sensory overload, right? It's just like it's too much noise, too much conflict, too much drama, too much stress, anxiety, like you name the words. It's all those things. And when you reach back to this place of simplicity and into this flow, you do come to life. Unfinished symphony. How beautiful is that? And you are coming to life as an unfinished symphony. It's an ongoing process. When you start looking at life from a process standpoint, that it is a process and there is no destination, there is really only the journey, and that is all there is. Somehow everything becomes just a little bit easier, doesn't it? And I see your life being curated specifically, right? You specifically curating the experiences that you want to have. Therefore, making it more musical, more magical. That's why you're staying out of this, because this is just an experience you just don't want to have. Now, I'm not saying you can control everything, but you can definitely control how much you get involved with something, right? You can control how much energy you give, how much time, how much attention, how much effort. And I see you, because that's the one thing you can control. And I see you working to control that. The wasp spirit. Sometimes life stings. Okay, interesting animal spirit to get this week. And maybe that's what all this stuff is. Maybe sometimes life does sting. Maybe something stressful does happen. Maybe you do have an argument with someone. Maybe you do, just want someone to validate you in a certain way and they simply won't do it. Whatever it is, whatever that sting is, it is a small sting. And it is not fatal, right? It is only a wasp sting. Hopefully you guys aren't allergic. It's just one of those ouch moments that kind of sucked and I don't like it, so I'm not going to do it again. It's kind of like lesson learned type of deal. And I think life is continually pushing you in this flow, Neptune, surrender, come to life arena. This is where the strength, this particular major arcana, the strongest in the first 6 cards, as it's up, the only upright one coming through and really pulling you in this quadrant. Unicorn, invite serendipity. Yes, there will be magical, unique, one-of-a-kind moments, one-of-a-kind events. What are the odds? What are the odds of this happening? What are the odds of, me meeting this person? What are the odds that the minute I got this out of my life was the minute something else came in? What are the odds? And that's what you were magicking all the time, right? That's what your magic was. See, the tricky part about this magician here is it's possible to manifest more of this stuff, which is why the dialogue and the narrative that you have running through your mind on a consistent basis is so important to pay attention to, because you might be manifesting stuff that you really, really don't want. Maybe you're addicted to it. Maybe you're addicted to a certain way that life has been. And changing that kind of programming in your mind can be really, really hard if you're not aware of what's really going on. This could be an incredible change point for many of you, an incredible pivot moment. The moment when you finally decide, I don't want this. And then you just change the frequency, right? It's all about attunement. Yeah, it stings a little, but you're going to come to life because of it. Okay? All right, pile number 1. Thank you guys so much. I love you more than anything. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll see you very shortly with the monthlies. All right? Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, guys picked the blue Aura Quartz. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let's go ahead here and take a look. 2 of Swords, 10 of Cups. Beautiful. Oh, wow. Okay. And 8 of Wands. Okay. Well, to me, this is, man, this Leo season, it's going to hit. It's going to hit something different. It really, really is. I think we are all at a place of putting our minds down, like putting our brains to rest and just really letting our heart guide us. Because when I look at this 2 of Swords and I'm looking at this 10 of Cups right next to it, to me, this is you choosing the thing that makes you happiest, right? It's you choosing to spend your time in a certain way and with certain people. It's you choosing a new career path. It's you choosing to acknowledge what the joy really is. Now, it's not following a siren song. It's not following a false joy. It's not temptation. That's one thing I feel compelled to point out. It's not a temptation. And I'm wondering if some of you are considered about the practical component of this 10 of Cups. Like, how's the money going to work? How is this going to, really unfold? Will I get the clients? Will I get this? Will I get that? Will I, have the thing? Those are concerns left up to your divine self, which is here in the Chariot, firmly with, definitely has the reins, so there's no need to worry about whether it's authentic or not, or whether it will provide or not, or whether or not it will be okay. It will be okay. It will work. It will take you where you need to go. Likely this is a single stepping stone in a series of stepping stones towards some kind of a destination that maybe you don't even have the full picture of what the destination even is yet. Chariot knows. That's the whole thing. When you have faith that the Chariot is there, and you have faith that this choice, although maybe not rational, not logical, unexplainable, something that people just really won't get, just really won't understand, it's still the right choice. I don't see you spending a lot of time questioning things. I don't see you spending a lot of time trying to assess. Just merely trying to get yourself there. Maybe there's even a little bit of a sense of urgency with that 8 of Wands. It's like, I got to point my arrow and I got to hit the target and I got to do it now. Maybe you feel that there is an opening. Maybe you feel that there is a window. Maybe you can also sense that that window won't always be open like this. And you got to jump through. I'm feeling a strong sense of self-empowerment coming through. awaiting results, love. Could be romantic love. It could be just love of life itself, and spread your wings. Oh my gosh, can we just for a second? Awaiting results. The results will come. Ace of Coins. Spread your wings, take the leap, jump. Again, no rational. There is no amount of logic. There is no amount of reasoning that can be done that is going to talk you out of this. I don't think so. And there's probably a lot of reasons why not to do it. That's the whole thing. There's probably a lot of reasons why it might seem like a bad idea, or a lot of reasons why you shouldn't try. And yet I think every single one of them is going to be trumped by your heart, the desire. See, the thing with the Chariot, I often feel that the Chariot takes on a lot of different personas, and it operates in a lot of different ways. A lot of times I feel it's our future self. The future self, where it's like sucking or siphoning. It's like a vacuum, right? Our present self versus our future self. Our future self is here, and therefore it's like pulling us here. That this isn't so much like a vehicle being drawn forward by two horses, but rather it's like a portal. Right? It's like a portal that will kind of wormhole you to the future self slowly, but it's still like that. It's still sucking you in this direction. And often it communicates with us through desire, through our heart, communicates to us through our intensifications, because a lot of times we have this intensification process where we feel compelled to care about something and we don't even know why. We don't know why something is important to us. We don't know why this came into our life. We don't know why all of a sudden now we're taking an interest in this. And we just are. And when love is present, well, like forget it, right? If there's anything romantic going on in your life, or anything, that you feel deeply connected to, forget it. Your mind has no power here. It has no say. Aries, Mars and Aries, definitely. Ooh, and Capricorn. Mars being an exalted planet in Capricorn, also the Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto stuff happening in Capricorn, squaring Mars. Mars is going to be doing a square with all the Capricorn planets coming up here in the next couple of weeks, and doing a retrograde, right? Coming into shadow with them. So these two archetypes inextricably linked. Aries is passionate, impulsive, definitely does not operate from the mind at all, right? This is Mars energy. This is just haphazard, clumsy, go after it, get it, make it happen. Capricorn is a lot more calculating. It's a lot more reserved, but it is still cardinal. And it is still driven by this drive of go forward without any reason as to why that drive even exists. That's the thing about cardinals. They're always pushing forward. Always pushing forward, always like a snowplow, right? Just vroom, just has a thing it's got to do, and it just does it. You guys ever seen those gigantic snow plows that they use in like Canada? They're like these huge monster machines. Crazy. That's kind of the image that I'm getting. Those huge monster snow plows. That's what you guys are right now. On a mission. And you don't even know it. Like, you don't even realize it's even happening. I think it's going to creep up on you. If you haven't felt it already, it's going to be felt. It's going to be felt. It's unavoidable. Hunger. Ooh, Aries and hunger. A wolf moon. What are you hungry for, guys? In beginnings, new moon. What are you hungry for? See, a portal. What did I just say? Oh my God, it's in the card. We have like this cold, wintry, blizzardy kind of exterior, but you walk through the portal and it's like a garden, a paradise, a beautiful meadow. It is a portal. You're reaching some kind of a stargate, if you will, in your life. And it is kind of a now or never. I don't think it's a portal that will remain open for very long. If you don't step through, if you don't make something happen, if you continually resist, I don't know that you're going to be able to resist, right? Maybe some of you will get caught up in this whole awaiting results. Like, well, show me the results first. Show me the money first. Show me the commitment first. And then I'll do, like, you're doing it backwards. If you're doing it like that, you're doing it backwards. That's the thing, like with people make career paths, they're like, show me all the money I'm going to make, show me the income, show me the salary, show me this, show me the success, without realizing that money is just a result. It's like an effect that happens with certain actions. It's an effect that happens with value that you bring to the world. It's not something to be chased after. It's the contribution that you should be chasing. It's the desire to make the world a better place, to make your own world a better place. If you sit there, she's kind of got like a tree in her here with like a little golden apple in her heart. What I'm actually seeing with this card is like almost like a skeleton. Like if you sit there and wait for the results to happen before the choice is made, you're just going to sit there so long that you're going to turn into a skeleton. The results will never come. Because you didn't ever make the choice to begin with. And I think you're hungry for this, right? You're hungry for the love. You're hungry for the passion, the fulfillment, the joy, the freedom. Like maybe many of you would do anything for that at this point. Maybe walking through this portal is the easiest thing in the world. But for some of you, that Capricorn can make it really tough too. Because on the other side, there's obligations, things you have to do, things you have to consider. Maybe there are things in your life that you are afraid to disrupt. Maybe there's a livelihood at stake. Maybe you're just simply not ready. But I don't think the universe cares if you're ready or not at this juncture. I really don't. I don't think it cares. Many of you are going to get pushed through this portal. I mean, it's just going to be full on from behind, just pushing you through. The way cardinal energies do, right? Have you guys ever worked with a Capricorn? They're going to be so pushy. Just push you through, push you, make it happen. No excuses. Oh, inner trust. I just got a weird image. It kind of looks like a female Jesus, that picture. I'm not like a Christian person, but there is that kind of spiritual, even high priestess component coming out here. The inner trust. The inner trust that you can spread your wings, right? As cheesy as maybe it sounds, you can spread your wings, you can fly, you can, accomplish anything. That the results will come, because I think you know that they will. I think you know the results will happen, that they are an effect of your progress. They are an effect of your desire. Whether you desire them or not, they're just purely effects. Go the distance. Yeah. Go for it. Walk through the portal. It's great. This is a great time. Don't think thinking right now is going to put this whole thing like to its grave. Like why? Why would you kill this off in your life? Why would you kill it off? Oh my gosh, stop it. Buffalo spirit. The abundant universe will provide. Is that what you're afraid of? Are you afraid of the material aspect of this? Are you afraid that the money won't work out? Are you afraid that you might have to change your place of residence? Are you afraid you might need to have to sell something or whatever it is? Like, if that's what you're afraid of, please, please stop. I love the buffalo so much. It's kind of like an elephant, or a lion. There's something so majestic and wise, just carrying generate like that, like so many generations, right? Hundreds of years, thousands of years worth of knowledge and wisdom coming through. And I think that's kind of this inner trust aspect as well, is like, don't forget who you are. Like, don't forget, that you have lives other than this one single life, and that you're carrying the wisdom of all those lives. Okay. Originality, blaze your own trail. See, the thing with the Capricorn energy versus the Aries, the Capricorn is much more prone to conformity. It wants to belong. It wants to fit within society. It doesn't really want to stand out. It wants to be seen and celebrated as something special, but it doesn't necessarily want to stand out, Capricorn, the way like an Aquarius or a Leo does, or, even an Aries like doesn't care. I was like, I don't care what you think about me. I'm just going to do whatever, right? But Capricorn wants to be respected, but it doesn't create a lot of room for originality. So I think that Capricorn is holding you back, but it's also pushing you forward. It's kind of a double-edged sword there. And if you embrace the fact that you are on your own path, if you embrace the fact that, you can give a big fat middle finger to culture and to society and to people's expectations, you can do that. And you can stop caring, right? And then you're going to be so much happier when you do. And it's time. It is time. The stars, 100% celestially, they support it. Okay? Really beautiful reading, guys. It's an important time for us as human beings. It's an important time for us as a humanity, as a planet. And we as individuals have to, take the lead in creating that joy and happiness and overall high vibration in order to contribute to the high vibration of the planet as well. So our individual choices are so critical for the greater good. So don't forget, okay? All right, you guys, I'm going to leave you with that. I love you so, so much. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you have an amazing week, and hopefully I'll see you in the next few days with the monthly readings. All right, thank you guys so much. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, pile number 3. You guys selected the pink aura course. Let's go ahead and see what these cards have to say. Okay, Queen of Cups reversed. Death, 4 of Wands. I'm feeling a lot of one-on-one connections with people, whether it's friendships, children, co-workers, lovers, whatever it is. There is an element of 2 people, you and someone else. Now, if you have a specific connection or relationship in your life, romantic or otherwise, this relationship is evolving very quickly. If you've had any sort of obsessive thoughts about somebody, I think those are starting to wane. They're starting to give way. I don't know that you're going to be able to really stand them. With the star, there's an element of liberation coming through. For 2 people to be reversed like this, I think there is an aspect of absolute deep surrender going on. 2 people who may have completely given up on the idea that the other person is supposed to be something that they expect them to be. And the realization that the instability was a necessary part of rediscovering one another. When death comes between 2 people, it tells me that a connection is in the process of a major metamorphosis, and it can no longer go back to what it was. Because you as an individual are changing so rapidly and from the core, from the deepest parts of yourself. And so is the other person. Now, for those of you who are married, and this speaks to you in a marriage context, or in any kind of relationship context, the foundation of this relationship seems to have been shaken and therefore needs to be revisited. If any of you are going through a divorce in this moment in time, the Four of Swords comes out and says, rest easy, you will be free soon. There is an element of freedom and liberation here, but there's also acceptance and love and healing, togetherness. So this is going to be different for each and every one of you, depending on, how this really speaks to you. Some of you will be free from it altogether. Others of you will be free to begin again, to renew. There can be a rebirth aspect with the star as well. Depends on, the nature of this death process, this breakdown process. Only the strongest relationships, the strongest friendships can really withstand this kind of an energy when it comes in between two people like this, especially when two people are reversed. Only the strongest can withstand this. Right? These are the people that, married for 50 years, that kind of deal. People that build, companies that last for 100 years. It's a test of your strength. And it's also a test of your ability to know what's right for you. To know what's right for you and to know that sometimes it is okay to move on. For some reason, I'm feeling a magnetism here because you're both looking at each other, right? There's a magnetism, meaning it's maybe impossible to look away, impossible to look the other direction, impossible to consider your life without this thing. And therefore, you might be trying to find solutions, but there's not enough clarity to find solutions right now. It will come with the star. It will come. And this will probably be 2021 when Jupiter and Saturn are officially in Aquarius. This is an Aquarian energy. Right now, we're still in the breadth of Jupiter-Pluto. Here we have a very Plutonic card, a Scorpio card. So this Pluto stuff really coming out hot and heavy here. And we have to wait until that's over, until we have that clarity. But the question is, can you go for another 5 months? A lot can happen in that time. So I think the real question for pile number 3 is, what do you really want? And are you willing to put yourself on the line? Because I think that's kind of what it's really demanding, what it's really asking of you, to be on the line. There's an intensity with Scorpio energy, also Aquarian energy. There's an intensity with those. Let's see what else. We've got giving and receiving. We have blossom. And we have success and growth. Beautiful cards. Wow. Maybe the script needs to be flipped, right? Maybe there's a little bit of a selfishness on each person's part here, right? There's just too much focus on what you get. While I don't want you to completely eliminate the emphasis on what you get, so to speak, like what you're receiving, but just add emphasis onto what you give. To me, I'm feeling an honoring with this Blossom card, an honoring of each other's path. An honoring each other's independent success and growth. Honoring the growth spurt. For some reason, I'm getting in my mind an image with this Blossom card. I'm getting an image of, a seed that just breaks through the ground, which we know there is so much power. The power that a little seedling has to break through the earth is incredible levels of force, right? Scientifically. And it seems to me that there's a great deal of pressure going on within this scenario. There's a lot of pressure And because of that pressure, your test of strength is even that much more. And I think the giving, as well as it's equal, right? It has to be both. It has to be giving and receiving. You have to allow yourself to receive as much as you also have to make the effort to give. And give could mean time. It could mean space. It could mean attention. It could mean validation. It could mean, understanding this other person's language of love, even if it's a professional contact, right? Even if it's like your boss or something, or the relationship that you have with your company and your work or a client, you have to understand what makes your other person or situation really tick. And those love languages come in handy in so many different regards, like giving gifts or words of affirmation or quality time, acts of service, physical touch, whatever it is. What is it that this other person needs? And are your needs being met as well? Because the presence of success and growth is an indication that you will succeed through this. And if you acknowledge that you are at a blossoming phase, an initial blossom, an initial breaking through the earth, this could be a point of enlightenment for you rather than a point of destruction. And maybe that's what the star is really all about. You're just pushing through the earth. You're pushing through the density of the soil right now. And we even kind of have a tree here as well. So there's certainly this element of, the way a plant grows. For some reason, and I can't really quite put my finger on it, but plants and earth, like green earth, has been a theme for me coming out like the past few weeks. There's been a lot of this sort of metaphor. And I think there's something to that, okay? Looking to, look, there's Saturn. Oh, look, here we have Aquarius as well. Okay, so there's definitely a Saturn-Aquarius vibe. So when Saturn enters into Aquarius in December, this, I think, is really when the release from all of this pressure will really occur, will really happen. And there will be freedom and, of course, liberation and, change that comes at that time. But the Saturnian nature, so we've got Saturn and Pluto, both planets being represented here. We know that both of those are in Capricorn, and we know both of those are in retrograde right now. Pluto is not super comfortable in Capricorn, right? This is not the best place for Pluto. And while Saturn is very happy here, he really slows things down and he really makes us work for it. He makes us labor for the sake of the benefit. Now, when we put Saturn in Aquarius, which of course Saturn is the ruler of Aquarius as well as Uranus in Western astrology, Saturn thrives in Aquarius and it produces so many blessings and results. It produces so many, when we say like you reap what you sow, right? That harvest is going to be plentiful as it comes through Aquarius. So maybe that's what you needed to know, is that the fruits of your labor will not be withheld from you. See, the thing about Saturn is he will never deny you of anything, but he will delay. And that's the time aspect of Saturn. He always delays, but never, ever denies. So what I'm really seeing is that energy of faith in knowing that the blessings will be given, even though right now you probably can't see it. Oh, fruition. Oh, well, there we go. We even have the fruit. We actually even have the fruit here. And then we have focus. So this really is a test of your resolve. It's a test of your strength. It's a test of how much you believe in yourself and you believe in your life and you believe in your power. Test of your faith. And I don't like to use that word test all the time. I think that's a difficult and kind of a harsh word to use, but sometimes it does feel like that. Like we are being tested tested of how good we are, how caring we can be. Now, the one thing I want you guys to know, okay, look, if you guys are in kind of a narcissistic situation, I'm not saying to keep pushing through. Like, you have to know what's healthy for you. You have to know what's good for you and what's not. And you have to have the strength and the power and the courage to be able to make the decisions. Because like I said, some of you are going to be, truly free from something. Because this pressure may be the real issue of like pushing through the soil is getting out of this dark night of the soul for some of you. Now, I think dark night of the soul is, something that we all kind of experienced 2017, 2018, maybe even 2019 for some of us. But maybe this is the defining moment of when we actually finally leave that phase behind. Right? Stay focused. Focus on, this is almost a full moon, right? This is a waxing gibbous moon. It's almost full, meaning there's an intensity and you have to stay focused. And I love the butterfly on that third eye chakra there because it does signify that kind of third eye guidance, the intuitive guidance that comes through there. Oh, and then we have receiving, right? So we have giving and receiving and receiving. So maybe you need more receiving because maybe the giving is, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe I mixed that up, right? Maybe you're tired of giving. But make sure you're still giving because they have to be balanced, but make sure you're giving in the right way. But please, please, please make sure you are also receiving. Let people be, do things for you. Let people talk to you. Really hear them. Really listen. Really listen to your gut, to your instinct. Listen to the answers to your prayers. Listen. Maybe now is a good time to really stop asking questions. And just see what happens. Oh, exchanging gifts. Okay. There's a lot of, what's this next one? Okay. Well, there's definitely a lot of exchange happening. So you need to be careful of look, we got number 27 and number 27. Both of these add up to 9 here. They all have different numbers, but just that we have 2 9s together like that. The number 9 is really, it's a very free number. Has a lot to do with like just doing what makes you happy and really superseding all of the material, right? All of the Saturnian aspects of life and, kind of leaving those things behind and really just living pure and authentic. Make sure that you're giving the best of yourself as well. Okay, what else? Coyote spirit, trust in divine detours. So this probably is a detour that you weren't expecting, whatever scenario this is. This probably was something that you a road that you never expected to go down. Maybe you didn't even realize it was a detour. Maybe you're feeling a little disoriented right now, right? Like you didn't even plan on taking this path. You didn't plan on taking this road. And now all of a sudden here you are so far from the original destination. But of course, it is purposeful because it is divine. Just like everything has that element of the ether. Everything has that element of divinity. If we can trust that, then we can trust the purpose and that there will be purpose, or that there is, and also trust that eventually we'll see it. And dragon, discover your courage. Death certainly brings out courage within us, especially with the Queen of Cups, King of Cups, both upside down. Courage is something that I don't think we ever try to be courageous. It's usually looks like courage from the outside looking in. From the inside, we're usually like scared shitless, pardon my language, right? But that's really what it is. We're scared shitless. And yet we do it anyway. We make the change anyway. We take that route, we take that path, or we start sprinting down the detour instead of just kind of, traipsing along. We start sprinting. And we start saying, I believe and I trust and I understand that I don't understand. And I accept that I don't understand. And I accept that change needs to occur. And I accept that, I did my best or whatever it is, whatever it is. But I keep looking at this card here because I think it's so beautiful, so perfect with the Saturnian energy, because that is really what Saturn is all about. It's about the harvest. It's about what you get from your experiences. It's about what you get from your choices. And there will be fruitfulness in your life. It's even like, of course, a harvest moon, right? There is an element of harvest. And I think you are nearing the end of growing season and making your way into harvest season. And that's poetic because we are, right? Right? Harvest season is like September, October. That's the time when we really start enjoying. So we're coming up to that, all right? Big reading for you guys this week. I love you. I hope you have an amazing week. I hope you are doing well, like just generally speaking. And that's it. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you so much, more than anything, and I'll see you very soon with the monthly readings. All right? Take care. Bye-bye. Alrighty, you guys selected the green aura quartz. Let's go ahead here and dive right in and see what these cards have to say. Strong heart chakra coming through with the green color. Oh, and we got the Lovers. Oh, beautiful. We got the Sun and, oh, wow, the Emperor. Okay. So, this definitely could be a love story for some of you. I think this Mars and Aries, now that it's officially off of Chiron, making its way in shadow, I think it is, Aries, Mars, right? This is one of the lovers, right? Venus and Mars. This is deep, deep romantic love, passion, sexuality, strong desire for connection. You've got the card of Aries here specifically. So, we got the Leo card here, all fiery, loving. We got a gigantic sun coming through here. Tells me your heart is really radiating right now and it's got a lot to give. And if you are in a marriage, this is an excellent time for you to really reconnect with your partner. It's a time for you to have amazing sex. It's a time for you to talk and get deep and really kind of rediscover, the type of people that you're becoming. If you're totally single, this could be just an opportunity for you to really enjoy life in a profound, real, authentic, and genuine way. There are absolutely no negative cards coming out here at all. No warnings, no nothing. I think this is kind of going to be a really great week. Not to say there couldn't be something that could happen, because definitely there could be, but your attitude and the way that you're going to handle it is going to be, beyond others' expectation, meaning you'll be cool, you'll be chill, you'll be relaxed, you'll be able to see the optimistic side of anything, and you're kind of this unstoppable force. Now, there could be something that comes in which could be really great, and it's probably just going to come in quite softly, but it will likely grow very quickly. It's not very common to have this Page of Coins just kind of bust right open right into a Six of Wands, which is a card of victory and success, and moving straight into the Lovers, right? And we have a couple cards of Leo, we've got a couple cards of Aries, we've got strong fire, which is also Sagittarius. So some of you might be connecting with someone that has those kinds of vibes, or you might just be feeling that way, very fiery, passionate, creative especially. And like with this one little seedling, it's probably going to grow really, really, really fast. If you have connected with someone romantically, there is a strong promise here with the sun. Although it might not be a fast moving thing because we have a Queen of Wands and an Emperor, there could definitely be maturity and saying, okay, well, this is great. It feels great. It's, we have a great connection. Or if it's a creative thing or a business thing that you guys are really vibing with on the certain wavelength, both a Queen of Wands and an Emperor are so incredibly strong and independent, and they really don't need anybody else. So, the thought of incorporating someone new could be a little bit hard, because now all of a sudden they each have to start considering another person. But ultimately, this has the potential to be a really, really strong partnership, whatever kind of partnership. Now, I'm not saying everyone is going to be meeting someone this week. It really could just be that your heart is really lighting on fire and you're feeling very passionate about something. This Mars in Aries, this Sun making its way into Leo, we're kind of finishing up the last days of Cancer here. And, we have this incredible amount of emotion and it needs to be channeled somewhere. Leo is highly passionate. And whether it's an art project or your music or connecting with people or being with friends or just being out in the sunshine, all of those things can really stir you up in an incredibly beautiful way. So, excellent way to start the reading. Let's see what else comes out. We have Master. Okay, you guys, new vitality and moving on. So I kind of look at this moving on. I look at with the Six of Wands as well. So new vitality, something is going to come in and, like I say, light you on fire. That's, I think, what your phrase for the week is going to be, is just allow yourself to get lit on fire. Look, this guy has his heart in a cage. Completely opposite, completely the antithesis of what I'm seeing here. The heart in the cage. Has your heart been in a cage? Have you been protective of your heart, protective of your emotion, protective of the way you think your life is supposed to go? This was a big thing in pile 1 as well. Look, we don't have control right now. Can we just say it? Saturn retrograde, Jupiter, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. We have these massive, massive influences in our lives that are really making our lives unpredictable. And if the universe, if God, Spirit, Source, however you identify with it, wants to give you something that is good for you, that brings joy, that brings happiness, or a whole new set of lessons for you to learn, are you going to reject it? Or are you going to embrace it? Because when I look at this new vitality, I see happiness. I see joy. I see magic. And I see that it is time for you to move on from this period of holding your heart hostage. Have you been afraid to really give? Have you been afraid to really express gratitude? Have you been afraid to fall in love? Have you been afraid to have your life changed? Have you been afraid to evolve? Now's an opportunity. The universe is putting its foot in the door here and it's saying, you know what, you can't keep me out forever. You can't keep out the good by trying to keep out the bad. It's time for you to open up the gates. Oh my gosh, stop it. Cancer and Scorpio, please. Oh my gosh, you guys have you don't have a chance. You're driven by emotion. Deep, powerful, potent, archetypal emotion. And it is quite profound. All I can say is just let it happen. You deserve it. You deserve the feeling of this new vitality. Right? We have the crab and the scorpion. Really, really protective energies, right? We got the exoskeleton kind of on both. We got the stinger, we got the venom, we have the chomping claws. We have the cage around the heart. And the universe is saying enough. Enough. It wants you to feel. I think it's asking you to go on a roller coaster, you guys. Right? Which is kind of the point of life. No one's saying it's going to work out perfectly. No one's saying it's going to be everything. No one's saying it's going to be, the source of your fortune or the source of your marriage or anything. No one's going to say that. But it's an experience that I think you deserve. It's a road that you deserve to go down. And it's because it's coming in, right? Page of Coins, it's coming in because it's a little too out of balance. The protectiveness is too out of balance. The scales need to adjust. This is an adjustment right here. You're getting this wave of goodness because the closed offness has been a little too extreme, I think. And I think the universe is kind of daring you to open, daring you to evolve, daring you to move on. Assessing and power with the Scorpio card. Look at that. Okay. I'm kind of laughing at this assessment card. I think that's kind of funny, as though we're going to be able to logically and rationally, figure it out. The mind is useless when it comes to matters of the heart, useless when it comes to creativity, useless when it comes to flow state, when it comes to surrender, when it comes to love and sex and passion, right? It's useless. The logic and the rationale. I think the universe is going to kind of laugh a little bit that you're trying to maneuver this. See, the Scorpio is an interesting notion because Scorpio is always walking on that freaking edge, always on the edge. It's always creating intensity in its life. Seeking, craving that intensity, and yet that intensity is the very source of its power. And I love that she's kind of like this dark princess here. She has this beautiful black, the black, of course, we know is the color of the feminine, right? It's that color of absorption and receiving and giving. So it's like that very what's the word I'm looking for? Indulgence. The very indulgence of the emotion is the scorpionic part, and that is the source of your power as well. For some reason, I'm feeling an element of decadence coming through. Really strong sex drives for some of you, really feeling that Mars and Aries, for sure. In Vedic, we have Mars through Pisces as well, which is also a very sexual sign. Pisces rules the bed pleasures. So that's why sleeping and dreamlands, yes, but also sex as well. So either way, whichever system you're used to using, sex is on the table here. And I do see you indulging in that somehow. If it's not actual sex, it's creation, right? Because creation is, of course, the channeling of the sexual energy. Relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. And that's maybe what I'm like, the hold of darkness. Are you holding on to this cage? Like you're holding on to the protective mechanisms, holding on to the caution. Kind of what I'm seeing here. I don't know why with this card, I always see that she's recharging her battery, right? Like you're not going to be able to hold on to the darkness anymore because your battery is totally run out, right? That's the balance, right? You're completely out of balance. You're completely out of charge with that. And the universe kind of laughs at that, like, how silly, silly human, you think you can sustain everything for a long period of time. And life, no matter where you are, no matter who's in your life will always find you. Always finds you. And there is an ascension aspect coming through this card as well, kind of a spiraling up and a spiraling upward out of the darkness and allowing yourself to spiral up. The sun is calling you. It's pulling you up. It's too magnetic. You're not going to be able to totally get away from that. Round and round, as a reminder of the cycle, as a reminder of the beauty of intelligent, sacred geometrical design, the beauty of continual balance. It always comes back to equilibrium. It always comes back to the middle. Porcupine spirit, time for a beginner mind. And you're moving on. You are a beginner. You are a beginner in this process, in this particular chapter of your life. And I hope you can play with this energy. Remember, it's not about expectation. That's the one thing Scorpio and Cancer both really struggle with. It's that desire to know the outcome, the control and dominance, especially with Scorpio. It's like, if you can't control it, then what's the point? There might be an element of possessiveness as well for some of you, or obsession might be coming through, especially if it's a person or a feeling like a project that you have going, some kind of an obsessive project or obsessive something going on at work. It's desire to force it through, to force it, to make it happen. The beginner mind is always a great mindset to have. If we can have that all the time, our lives are a lot easier. We're more capable of learning. Battle of the blues. Take steps toward positive change. That's what this whole first row is really about. You're moving away from this caged heart toward positive change. There's an upward mobility here. Don't kill it with questions. Kill it with, especially if this is a romantic scenario. I had to bring in romance because the Lovers came through, but it doesn't have to be romantic. But let's use as an example, right? Let's say you've met someone new, Page of Coins. You met someone new, great. It's promising. But then there's this assessment tendency to look at it and say, let me tell this person exactly who I am, exactly what I think I need in my life, exactly what my goals are, and let's see if this person fits. Does this person match? And I'm not saying to completely let go of your life and your dreams altogether, but maybe the things that you thought were so prominently, definitive of your personality, definitive of your desires, definitive of the desired outcome of your life, maybe those things are meant to change. Maybe this person has come into your life, or this event or this project or whatever has come into your life specifically to get you to change course. But if you're so stubborn, you might miss out. And I don't know that if you're not in a flow state, that you could really enjoy where you're going. Because have you been enjoying it thus far? Take steps toward positive change. Okay? Beautiful reading, you guys. Just run with it, right? That's all I can say. Run with it. And that's where I'm going to leave you. All right. I love you guys more than anything. I hope you have an amazing week. I will see you soon with the monthlies. And that's everything. All right. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.